What is our third main topic today?
All right, this comes from Morris T. Hi, John. I know you weren't the biggest fan of Alfonso Cuarón's Roma, but it was honestly one of my favorite movies of the year when it came out. He really hasn't directed anything since, and I just read that he's writing and directing a new thriller series for Apple TV called Disclaimer, and it'll star Cate Blanchett and Kevin Kline. What do you think of this?
I love this. I love this. Now, you're right. I was not on the Roma bandwagon like a lot of people were. Like a lot of my fellow critics and stuff like that, like just fell over themselves in love with Roma. And look, it is a beautifully artistic film, all that kind of stuff. I just honestly didn't find it incredibly engaging or entertaining, but that's fine. A lot of people loved it. I think it won him the Academy Award for Best Director that year. It was nominated for Best Picture. It is a very, very widely celebrated thing. Okay. Besides the Streep monster, besides Meryl Streep, who is obviously the crowned queen of all things acting, everybody knows that. I honestly believe, aside from Streep, I think the undisputed heir to the throne, I honestly think is Cate Blanchett. I think she's the heir to Meryl Streep's throne. I really do. Multiple Academy Award nominations, multiple Academy Award wins. She's just it. She can do everything. She can be funny. Hell, she was even in a Marvel movie. How great, and by the way, how sexy did she look as Hela in Thor Ragnarok? She was fantastic in that. And then Kevin Kline.
I love him.
Oh my God. Candace coming to kill me. Fish Called Wanda is one of my favorite movies. I still think about A Fish Called Wanda all the time. Kevin Kline, John Cleese. I mean, it's just, I love that movie. Then he's done a lot of other great things, of course, In and Out. And a very underrated comedy that I talk about a lot, but not a lot of people do, is Las Vegas, that he just recently did with Morgan Freeman and Michael Douglas and Robert De Niro.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
It's wonderful. I love Las Vegas. It's a comedy. It's great. It is also the one, you heard the story about me leaving Robert De Niro hanging. Oh, it's the one I've shown I won't show the picture here again, but there's a great picture of it where I'm sitting down in a room with Kevin Kline, Morgan Freeman, Michael Douglas, and Robert De Niro. And
no sweat.
Yeah. And I finished my interview with them and I get up to walk away and there's a great picture of me with my back turned to them. And you see Robert De Niro half out of the couch, reaching out his hand for me, trying to shake my hand. And I've got my back to him as I'm walking out there. Oh, I know.
John.
I have never been more agog and aghast in my entire life.
Oh my God.
My editor, my buddy Dennis Zen, the Zen master, he was editing the interview and he emailed me later that night and he's like, John, you do realize you left Robert De Niro hanging. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he sent me the still image and I wanted to crawl under a rock.
I would have cried.
Anyway, but it was for that movie, Las Vegas. Kevin Kline is awesome. And then he did this movie where he plays the president of the United States and then a lookalike of the president. I think it's called Dave.
One of my favorites.
I loved it. He did it with Sigourney Weaver.
90s movies. Yes.
Sigourney Weaver was the first lady in that. So good. I love him. And listen, when you're talking about Alfonso Cuarón, this dude, he is both writing and directing this new thriller.
I can't
called Disclaimer, right? That's going to have Cate Blanchett and Kevin Kline. He is writing and directing it. He has 2 Best Director Academy Awards and at least 1 or 2 other nominations as well. He won Best Director for Roma. He was, I believe, he was also won Best Director for Gravity with Sandra Bullock.
God, that movie.
He's also an Academy Award nominated writer. He's got like 2 or 3 Academy Award nominations for writing screenplays. I mean, this guy is just like one of the best filmmakers in the world today. And Apple TV, while I had my doubts about Apple TV when they started, I'll tell you what, Apple TV has been killing it.
They're picking up.
They
started very slow.
I remember when they did their big Apple TV Plus day and they were showing things for Morning Show and See and For All Mankind. I thought none of this looks interesting. It was a boring event. Nothing looks interesting. Checked out. Saw Morning Show. So good. Ray is the one who actually got me watching For All Mankind.
Oh yeah, that was good.
For All Mankind, because Ray was over working on some stuff and he had something
Every day I would come over
Yeah.
and I would have it on, and if I missed anything, I would replay the episode, and John would happen to finish. And you started watching it too, right?
Yeah, I started watching with you. I couldn't believe how good it is.
They're making a second season. But right now, I was just telling the chat that I don't keep up with a lot of TV, right? You know that.
I know that.
I always end up like watching the first couple of episodes, and then I'll just drop it off for no exact reason. I did it with Breaking Bad. I stopped at season 5 right before everything went bad. I stopped there just because I wanted my own ending. Like I wanted to be a happy ending.
my own ending.
What?
That's really my reason. It's the worst, but
He just does fan fiction instead.
it's the worst. It's the worst. So I'll never know what happened at the end of Breaking Bad. All I know is that both of them bought new cars, and that's how it ended for me.
That's the ending of Breaking Bad.
All right. So, but right now, the only TV series I'm watching is Invasion. I'm actually excited every Thursday when it drops. It's really slow, but for some reason I'm into it. It's just like, at first I was like, man, we're never going to see the aliens. It's all about the relationships. But
Don't give anything away for people catching up.
Oh yeah. As episode, I was like, these relationships are starting to become important to me. Like, that's what I'm watching it for now.
And now you're getting
a complete turnaround from what I started watching it for. It completely won me over with the least, or with the thing that I thought, I would watch it for.
And that's kind of been a standard thing now with Apple TV stuff. It's been the stuff that you don't expect. I still don't like the Jason Momoa. I love Jason Momoa, but I'm still not a fan of C. I don't like C, but almost everything else they've done has really kind of crushed it. And so you've got this, trinity of talent.
Holy cow.
Doing a show like a thriller. It sounds great. Now, this is a description of what the project is. This comes to us from Variety, who writes, the show is titled Disclaimer, and it's based on the novel of the same name by Renee Wright. Blanchett stars as Catherine Ravenscroft. That's such a TV show or movie last name. Catherine Ravenscroft, a successful and respected television documentary journalist whose work has been built on revealing the concealed transgressions of long-respected institutions. However, when an intriguing novel written by a widower, Kevin Kline, appears on her bedside table, she is horrified to realize that she is a key character in a story that she had hoped was long buried in the past. Again, multi-Academy winning actress, amazing actor in Kevin Kline, multi-Academy Award winning director writing and directing this thing. To me, this thing has winner written all over. The question is for you guys. What do you think about the sounds of Disclaimer? Does it sound like something that interests you? I'm not going to lie to you. I'm all in for this thing. This sounds great to me. Whatever you guys are thinking, jump down into the comment section below and leave us your thoughts.